How's it going, everybody, and welcome to Liberty Bullwhelp. A bombshell report just dropped from the Wall Street Journal, basically exposing a algorithmic underground pedophile ring being perpetrated through Instagram. All right, we're gonna go ahead and get into a little bit of a discussion about this, because as you guys know, it's Pride Month, and this is my month that I go full ham on the LGBTQ community that's trying to go after your kids. Not a conspiracy; it's a fact. Before we get into that, let's get into this. Oh yeah, here we go.
America is a nation that can be defined in a single word. I was going to foot.
We're losing our democracy!
More inflation. What a stupid son of a bitch.
Wake up!
Before we get into that, let's get into this. Alrighty, so let's go ahead and get into this. All right, so the link to the full article will be in the description below. It's going to be archived, but it's from the Wall Street Journal, and basically, the gist of it is Instagram is helping to connect and promote a vast pedophile network that facilitates the commission and purchase of underage child sex and abuse content. Right, so they did this whole like investigation type thing with the help of some researchers from Stanford University, and they basically just kind of dug into the child sex ring of Instagram. Right, they actually went to a whole bunch of different social media websites and stuff, which for the most part, a lot of them do have this sort of stuff. I mean, Twitter, as we know, once Elon Musk kind of took over, that was kind of one of the first things that he did was he got rid of, all of the child porn. I mean, at least as much as he is really able to. That seems to be the kind of problem that is going on with a lot of these social media websites, and it does point this out in the article too. That basically it's people that will make multiple accounts, they'll make backup accounts on backup accounts on backup accounts, because there is like sort of I guess AI detection and stuff like that in these systems that would basically detect these sort of images beforehand, and basically make it to where the account will be removed, or the account will be suspended, or so on, whatever. But they make backup accounts to where their followers will just move over to the next one, right? And that's how they kind of continue to get around the stuff. That they'll also do things like use coded hashtags and stuff like that as another real kind of issue that they get into in this article, saying that the whole hashtag system is basically being used to kind of create this whole underground ring, right? Furthermore, the suggested friends and stuff like that is further perpetuating this underground community being connected together to I guess kind of promote and facilitate the sale of child pornographic images and or videos and stuff, right? So this article does get into some major detail. I mean, it does even mention at some point that there is some accounts that will facilitate the actual in-person meeting of underage people, right? Basically a kind of a whole Epstein type stuff thing going on, except I guess for the lower echelons of society, right? And ultimately, what it seems like is really kind of going on here to me is not so much Instagram is oh, they're promoting this type of stuff or anything really nefarious necessarily, but it seems to me like it's basically algorithms that don't have any sort of a human input are basically you know just being put in place, and just like a government program, right? They're being put in place, and then they're set it and forget it type thing, right? And basically, it's leading to all these people being able to find ways to get around. They'll use coded words, they'll use they'll change coded words, or they'll do, cover up a face, or they'll do whatever they have to, right, in order to get around these sort of things, because basically that's what these people do all day with their life, because they're fucking losers, and that's all they have to do with their life is sit here and try to find ways to be even more sneaky perverts online, right? All right, so the part that really kind of gets me, and gets I'm sure quite a few of you out there, is not so much the fact that we think that Instagram is trying to promote this whole worldwide pedophilia. We want pedophilia everywhere. We don't think that that's what's actually going on. And actually, if you read the article, it does more or less kind of point out that it does seem to be algorithmic anomalies, basically stuff that not necessarily anomalies, but basically algorithms that have been left unchecked and now have run awry and basically have created rings of they brought together close-knit communities and stuff, which is essentially what their intended purpose was, but they brought together some of the wrong communities, right? That's what the problem is, right? So what the thing that we seem to take issue with is the fact that, okay, this stuff is illicitly illegal, right? Very, very much illegal. Not even a gray area type thing. Like, no, it's outright illegal, right? They should have, and we know that they have sorts of programs and other algorithms that could kind of pick up these sort of images and stuff like that with the quickness, right? How do we know this? Oh, well, we know this because anybody that happened to post anything about the 2020 election being stolen, or anybody that has to, anything to say about, January 6th or anything like that, they would get taken down with the quickness, right? We know that they have these sorts of algorithms that, if you put in these keywords, or if you put in, these key phrases, or, sort of images and stuff like that, they have ways to find them instantly and get them removed, right? Why are they not using that technology that we know that they have on these types of things, right? Why are they using it to censor, people like me and you? Which, quick test, just because, YouTube did say that they are, they are throwing out the old rule about, the 2020 election. So the 2020 election was clearly stolen by Joe Biden, the deep state, all these, people that are basically working to, undermine democracy and essentially say that that's what, the other side is doing, right? It's basically some really, really bad characters, right? So anyway, that was just a test, really, to check out the YouTube censors, see how that works, right? But yeah, we'll see how it goes. So back to the issue at hand, then. All right. So the article does say that tens of thousands of accounts have been removed. I think they even said there's a figure like almost close to 500,000 accounts in some instances have been removed. For these types of things, which does just really kind of point to the fact that there would not be this sort of disgusting deviance going on online if there wasn't a market for it. That's the cold hard truth, right? It really kind of points to the sickness of society that this is such a lucrative market, right? So lucrative that even social media platforms can benefit off of just simply looking the other way, right? And just simply pretending they didn't see it, whatever the fucking shit may be, right? If there wasn't a market for it, if there wasn't a demand for it, there would be no market for it. And that's really the deep-rooted problem, I guess, that we really kind of have to look as a society into, right? All right, so for one, there really needs to be much, much, much more severe punishments for child sex crimes, right? Really any sort of sex crime, in my opinion, down to rape, all that shit, that you should be getting life in prison without the possibility of parole, right? Those types of crimes that are, involve victims, especially ones that are sexually driven, right? Yeah, those are not fixable. That's not someone that's going to, get some counseling and all of a sudden they're going to be better. No, that's a mental illness. That person is sick, right? And it does also, make sense to note that a lot of the people that do these sort of crimes do suffer very severely from mental disorders, right? They're very, mentally disabled in many ways. A lot of people that are, severely autistic, or, people that have Down syndrome, stuff like that, often when they end up growing up into full-fledged adults, they still end up having that sort of sexual desire, because at the end of the day, they are still a human being. Just because their brain doesn't quite function the same way that, everybody else does, their hormones do, right? So that being said, a lot of the people that do perpetrate these crimes do end up, turn out to be severely mentally ill, right? Not an excuse. I don't give a shit. Lock them up for life too. If anything, the fact that they're mentally ill, if especially if it comes out later on in court that they're severely mentally ill, right? that should not be a mitigating factor. If anything, that should be, a factor that gives them more time, right? So you would, of course, you'd think like, oh, they're just mentally disabled. They didn't know what they were doing, right? Oh, just put them on a sex offender registry and let them go. Give them a little slap on the wrist, give them probation. How about that? They're not going to do it again. Trust me. Yeah, no, that's not the reality, right? The reality is that they are mentally ill. They do not have the mental faculties to be able to tell themselves that this is not right. Even if that is what they truly desire, still, the fact that society, you know, at large has said that, yeah, this is absolutely not right. The fact that even animals seem to differentiate, at least to an extent, the age of maturity to, child or infancy and stuff like that, right? Yeah, these people have severe mental problems and they're not going to be cured. It's sexually driven, it's hormone driven. You're not going to fix that, right? These people are true predators. They're true danger to society. The more mentally ill they are, the more of a danger I think they are. And the more I believe that they should be locked up and not let out, right? That's just my opinion though. I mean, a lot of people may disagree, but I truly believe that there needs to be severe, severe, like I say, life, if not death, even, right? These people need to be made an example of, right? There are certain things that are beyond taboo. It's not like, shit, even fucking selling drugs to fucking kids. What the fuck? Even that, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that that's a good thing. I'm saying, as opposed to having sexual relations with a kid, I would be much more lenient on the person that's selling drugs to the damn kids as opposed to the person that is trying to brainwash them and sleep with them, right? That's just my opinion, right? But so basically, there needs to be severe penalties and people need to be made an example of, right? That's the way that you kind of fix society is basically, when it comes to keeping order, what promotes order, what preserves order, fear, right? Like I said in the video about, power and authority, what keeps people in line in society, even though you may have desires to go out and do, whatever, even though you may have desire to just, oh, you see a lot of money over there, I'm just going to go grab it and take it. In your head that society is going to punish you for that, right? You were able to understand that you may, lose your life for a few years, if you do things like that. So you don't do it, right? You're kept in line by way of fear, right? These people need to be kept in line much in the same way. But I believe that their fear needs to be much more severe because of the fact that, like I said, these people are not mentally okay. They're not just somebody that's like, well, look at that. There's some money over there. There's some fucking food over there. There's a free car over there with the keys left in it. There's a difference between that and there's a fucking 12-year-old kid. There's a huge fucking difference, right? All right. So another route that you could go down. And of course, I'm not promoting vigilantism because that would be terribly, terribly wrong, right? That's actually more fucking illegal, actually going out, with your community and policing these sort of, people is more illegal than what these people are actually doing in the first place. So I'm not saying to go out and start a vigilante posse or anything like that, but if you look all over the internet, there's these pedo hunter channels, all over YouTube and stuff, Colorado Ped Patrol, what is it, like Dads Against Groomers, something like that. There's a whole bunch of them, right? There's a whole shitload of them. They're all over the internet, right? And basically what these people do is the law is not going to hold these people to account. And at the same time, they're not afraid of the law because the law is 3 hots in a cot and then they'll be out in a couple of years to, offend again, right? That's basically there's no fear in that, right? So like, as someone that's been to prison before, prison is daycare, right? It's not anything, it's nothing to actually deter you from really, going back, especially if you have nothing to lose. Going to prison is something to gain at that point, right? So what these pedo hunter people do is basically when they catch these people, they'll go online, the whole Chris Hansen style. They'll, go ahead and pose as a child online. They'll even, send like, I don't know, if like in pictures of, the nieces fully clothed or whatever, of course, and basically they'll lure these pedophiles out to meet them somewhere, right? They'll go ahead and meet them somewhere. They'll live stream the entire meeting. They'll have, their folders, all this and that type shit with all their information, the whole chat logs, everything, all the pictures that these fucking weirdos sent. And they'll just basically go up and, hey, this is you. And basically they're surrounded by a bunch of fucking big ass dudes with cameras all pointed at them. And now they're the center of the center of attention, right? The last fucking thing they ever wanted, right? Furthermore, what they do after that is they're going to make them call anybody that cares about them. Anybody, right? Whether that's, you live with your parents, well, you're calling your fucking parents. Like, oh, you have a wife at home? Oh, you're calling your wife. Like, basically anybody that actually cares about them, or actually, even if they don't have somebody that cares about them, well, you call your probation officer. And if all else fails, then I guess call the police, right? But ultimately, they try to get somebody that's going to hold these people to account, because the law is not going to do that, right? And even if the law does hold them to account, it's nothing. It's a slap on the wrist. You're put on a fucking sex offender registry, and you're out to repeat again, which is a high probability, because like I said, these people don't have all their fucking mental faculties about them, so it's a high probability that they're gonna repeat again. And basically, we need to have a different sort of system to be able to hold these people to account, right? So that's why I do promote, it. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that people should go out there, because Lord knows that I don't have the strength in me to actually go out there and do what these people do, and have the strength to not turn off the camera. Let me just put it that way, right? So these people actually, if you would like to support stuff like this, definitely go find these channels, subscribe to them, make sure you hit those thumbs up buttons, those likes, whatever. Share all those videos out to people, right? Share those videos, get those videos sent out to everybody. Make sure everybody sees these disgusting people. And yeah, that's basically a whole lot better system that I see, as opposed to the actual legal system, which, is basically a whole bunch of, loopholes for people to just fall through the cracks, right? All right, so that's about all I got for you guys. You guys definitely recommend going and checking out the article. Like I said, it's archived, so you guys aren't going to be giving the old Wall Street Journal the clicks. You're going to be giving archive.today or whatever the fuck. All right, well, I appreciate all you guys for stopping by. Don't forget to like this video, share this video out to your friends. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section, man. I mean, this is some pretty intense shit, right? Instagram. I mean, like I said, they do mention some other people. Just Instagram is the major outlier because of how rampant it is, right? Just basically the algorithms and the recommendations are basically creating pedophile rings, and whether they know it or not, this is the reality, right? All right. Well, anyway, I appreciate all you guys. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share. Fuck off.